Most people think that getting clients with high level is about knowing the software inside and out, knowing how to build workflows, automations, the funnels. I actually did the opposite. I did not spend time in high level, and that's exactly how I got my first client. Hey, my name is Paul Kim, and I help agency and consultants get their first client with high level by getting clarity on the fundamentals before you start building anything. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get your first client without touching high level or any tools at all. All right, so let's start with what most people do when they sign up to high level. They are thinking, I need to master this platform. I need to master AI. I need to master and know workflows or every feature that is available, right? And so typically when people sign up, maybe they signed up directly through high level, or they signed up through another YouTuber, right? That promised them snapshots, right? And so you go in there and you sign up through high level, and typically they will, get snapshots, and they start going into the high level because it's really has a lot of features and it's exciting to see all the features and start connecting and start tinkering around in the platform. So here's the problem. If you don't understand the business that you're building for, right, the offer, the sales process, the lead flow, then you are building on a broken foundation. So this is where most agency owners get stuck, right? They are good with the tools, but they can't translate that into results for their clients utilizing those specific tools. So when it's time to pitch, they get caught up with, I can set up these automations, I could set up the websites, I could build you the funnel. And the client doesn't understand that for his business or don't see the value, and you wonder why they can't close. So let me tell you exactly what I did, right? So when I got my first client, I didn't open up high level. I basically sat down with them and asked questions, not software questions, but questions specific to their business. Some of the questions that I ask are, do you have a website? Where are your leads coming from? What happens when somebody fills out the form? How fast do you or your team get back to somebody that actually fills out the form? Do you have a system to capture reviews or to ask for reviews? And what I found out, and this is where most people miss this, is that the business usually has a visibility problem or they have a capture problem. And so this goes back to my framework, my local framework, LOCLA. If you have not watched that video, I'll put the link on top so you could check it out later. So the client typically has a visibility or a capture problem, right? And not an automation problem, right? Not an AI or automation problem. So fundamentally, customers are not visible to them, or they are usually not capturing the customers that are coming to their business online. So what I actually do, I think that everybody using high level or starting to use high level, this is something that every person should be doing, right? So I pretend to be the consumer and I either do a search for a specific service or product that the customers are searching for. And if I can't find them, then means that they have a visibility problem. And then if they do have a website or some way to capture, I actually go into the website and I put their information and see if there's a reply and how fast the reply comes back. So my typical first week or two is about fixing the foundation. It's not about building automations, setting up AI or workflows. It's just making sure that the forms work, they are visible. If they are capturing the forms, then just making sure that there is a prompt response to those forms. All right, so what this experience has taught me is that week one is not about building, it's about you're not going in there and being a tech person. You are going in there to diagnose the business, right? I don't know if there's such word as a diagnostician, but your job is to go in there and find where the leaks are. And so if you think of it as a leaky bucket, right? Before you pour the water, do you have a bucket? Or if there is a bucket, does it have any leaks in the bucket? So the worst thing you can do to a business is that, pouring more water, it does not help if, there's no bucket or there's a leak, right? And how, depending on how big the leak is, as much water that you're pouring in, it really doesn't compound, right? And this is what I call the diagnostic first approach, right? So before I build or before I even open HighLevel or before I even build anything, I go through a specific list of questions. I have those specific list of questions. I have a checklist of it in my video. I'll put a link at the end of this video for that video that goes over that checklist. So here's the mindset shift that most people need to understand when you are building in HighLevel is that once you understand the business, then the problem becomes clear and then you know what systems to implement. And by the way, if this video resonates with you on how you deal with clients or getting clients, by the way, and you are not using HighLevel, right? I'll put my affiliate link below. I'll be honest with you, most HighLevel affiliates will give you a 30-day free trial and a snapshot, a bunch of snapshots. But what I do is different. I will personally help you get your first clients using HighLevel. I'll walk you through the diagnostic approach step by step with you. All right. Also, I'll put the link below. So before I give you the link to my next video that talks about the HighLevel checklist, the specific list of questions that I go through for each client, I want to go over my first client, which is his name is Alan Sedin, right? He came on a couple of years ago. Before I even went into his, got into HighLevel or introduced any tools, I sat down with him and had a conversation. And basically, ultimately, what came out of the conversation was that he needed a simple website, um, basically a one-page website back then. He needed a Google Business Profile, which is very, very important, right? And he needed reviews. And so based on that, then we approached it on how we can get more reviews to his Google Business Profile. All right, so let me recap. If you're trying to get clients with HighLevel for the first time, don't start with AI, automations, funnels. These are features, right? Basically, have conversations with your client or potential clients and see if they have visibility, they look credible online, if they have a website, do they have forms, um, are they getting reviews consistently? And if they're not, those questions alone itself should be sufficient for you to get your first clients. So on that note, go check out my next video where I talk about the HighLevel checklist that I use for every single client before you even start building.